And welcome back here at the TSF Entertainment Channel. We are back with Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, the finale.
It's the finale.
The finale. Divided we stand. First thoughts. I am here with none other than the bro himself. I am Retro.
Make me sound like I'm royalty or something. I am Rachel CG. That's your
I am
name.
Retro CG. He is here. We are in the building, and we are here to give you our first thoughts on this episode. But before we get into it, we're gonna hit y'all with this intro, and we'll be right back. And we are back.
We are here. DJ Fresh, Your Highness is in the building. We are finally here at the season finale. Man, it seems like these little 3 months have skirted by on us. And we are finally here at the end. And I'm actually excited. I got some grumbles and complaints, but I'll save that for Sunday's live.
Yeah.
Overall, I am really pleased with how the season turned out. I'm really pleased with how the season turned out. Even though we had the leaks, even though some of the pacing in this episode was really accelerated,
Mm-hmm.
overall it was really a good episode. Diana, you get the hands, you got the toe. Drew, you get the hands. You got Drew, Diana. Y'all up out of here. Y'all got to go. And I think I'd rather see Drew go first now. I haven't been seeing it for Diana ever since she did the whole thing with Zeke or whatever, but I was kind of looking past that. But the way she manipulated everyone in this episode, but let me ask you this: who did more manipulation? Was it Drew? Because it seemed like Drew was kind of puppeteering Diana a little bit. Like some of it
Um,
was her own doing, some of it was her usual, but Drew kind of added a little extra sauce to it. Like with Drew being with the shit, it was almost like he was taking advantage of the fact that he know that Diana was messy, and so he was kind of feeding her a little bit and letting her kind of do the dirty work because she's the one who orchestrated everything. I
but
mean,
I
what's
think it's also because he ain't in the right state of mind. And whatchamacallit had literally just told him about Monet and the unaliving of Poppy and all that other stuff. So I think,
unaliving of Gordo and
yeah, and he having to do that. So I think that's why immediately he just went to, oh, it's got to be Tariq. Like, because he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't in the right frame. He ain't in the right state of mind. We saw that when he had did the whole confession in public with Everett. So he ain't been in the right state of mind all season.
I'm
He ain't-
still ain't feeling sorry for Tariq. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all have converted over to Tariq lovers. Still not seeing it for your boy over here. I will say this. I feel like I know a lot of people are probably not liking the fact that everyone flipped on Tariq in this episode, but that was one of the things I have been grumbling about for the last 2 seasons. Like at some point, the balance has got to shift where he's going to have to start reaping what he sowed. He's
Mhm.
going to have to start uh, getting facing some consequences for some of his actions.
Yeah.
Now, in this season, I'm not going to say that Tariq was kind of a victim of circumstances, so to speak. Just like the whole thing with Diana getting roped up in the RICO charges, he really didn't set her up. He really
No.
did try to look out for her and give her a place to put her product at.
Yeah. He ain't know.
He told her about the lockers. He didn't know nothing about the camera that was up there, but of course, that was a domino effect because now they automatically assume that Tariq, set him up because of how he moves. People always look at him and automatically assume that he is responsible for anything that bad happens.
Yeah.
The whole situation with Effie, it's kind of a double-sided coin because Tariq, you have done similar things. You did it to Tommy last season. You did it with your own father. So I mean, you can't sit here and think that people are going to be loyal to you when you're disloyal to others. So, but at the end of the day, Effie wasn't necessarily being disloyal to you by trying to get rid of Lauren. She was trying to get rid of a problem. Y'all out
Yeah,
here running the streets together. So at the
yeah,
end of the day, you may look at it the fact that because you had a love interest for her or whatever, but you're not looking at how her talking to the feds affects everyone else. So at the end of the day, I'm still gonna say Effie was down. She was a down ass chick. She
yeah,
did what she had to do because at the end of the day, if she really, really wanted to flip on you, she could have did that with the Rico sisters.
yeah.
But when she got up out of the prison, she kind of even gave you one last chance to, set things right with y'all.
But it was the
Turned her
fact,
away.
bro. He got you out.
He he did get her out, but
So it's like,
not because he cared about her, or let me not say that because he does care about her, but not because he's in love with her and he had to get her out because that's the love of his life. He got her out because he had no other choice. Remember, Monet told him, "You gotta keep your bitches quiet." So Lauren and Effie can't talk. So he was his hand was kind of forced. He had no choice but to get her out because it served everyone else's interests as well as his.
I mean, I think he's still in love with her, and I think he still, care about her and
Not
feel
anymore.
for her.
Not
You know what I'm
anymore.
saying? Like,
But when she thumping at him, busting shots at him, I don't think so.
well, I mean, of course not now, but I mean, during the time, I still think that he
Yeah.
did. Just, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He angry, like I said, just like his pops,
Yeah.
just like Ghost. So he got angry about it. But still, at the end of the day, it was like, yo, if it wasn't for him, you probably would have still been sitting in the jail for this so-called lawyer that took 3 to 4 days
That
to
never came.
come get you out of jail.
Could
That
never make
never
a
showed
phone
up.
call, so she could never make a phone call.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm still trying to figure out who sent the mysterious text that said Monet is coming coming for you.
Okay, so I was gonna break that down on Sunday, but since you asked, I
I
think
mean, you
that
can break it down on Sunday.
okay, I'll save it for Sunday.
Yeah, we can
I'll
save
save
it
it
for
for Sunday.
Sunday, but I
I'll save
mean,
it for
it's
Sunday.
just it's one of the joints. Like I said, my first thoughts of the whole episode, like I said, the whole season been dope. Whole season, this probably the best season of the entire show. I don't know where they could go from here. Like I said, I hope they're not following in the power footsteps. Been a dope season. Uh, episode, it was like it started off great, and then it just started. Once it got near the end, it was like it just almost became like unrealistic. Like, really, like
Yeah,
this
I
is it.
agree.
Like, this is the end. Like, nah, this can't be the end. This is what y'all gonna give us to hold us over to a next season. Like, nah, this can't be the end. Like, this is how that was one of like my biggest gripes of the finale. Like, I would have rather when they hit the, oh, should I say that for Sunday? I'm gonna save it for Sunday.
Save it for Sunday. I will agree with you on that because I don't feel like what they gave us left us on a cliffhanger
No.
because we kind of knew what happened and it was kind of predictable what was going to happen. Not in what we're normally accustomed to for season finales, because usually season finales end with a death
Mm-hmm.
or it ends with someone getting locked up, going to jail or whatever. Usually in a Power universe, these are how the seasons typically end.
Some
Uh,
type of mystery, mystique.
yeah, something for us to debate over for the next year or so, waiting for the show to come back. Something for us to say, okay, what's going to happen? Right now, the biggest topic of discussion is going to be what's going to happen with Tariq and Braden. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess with them bringing Tommy and Tasha back to the last episode, the last 2 episodes, bringing Tasha and Tommy back kind of gives us that little bit of mystique because now everyone's going to automatically assume that they're going to be in Force next season, which I don't think so. I
Nah.
don't because Force has already wrapped up its production. Uh, Tasha may make a cameo appearance, maybe. I don't think we're quite ready yet for crossovers for other characters over the Force. Not quite yet. I think eventually we will. you got to see with book 2, they kind of set that up from the beginning that there will be cameo appearances, crossovers with Tommy, because he's important to that story. Nothing that's going on in Tommy's world right now kind of goes back to Tariq and Tasha. He's kind of doing his own thing. So maybe in season 3 of Force, we may start to get the crossovers. The closest that I think that we'll get to the crossover in Force is going to be Law Enforcement, not Tasha and Tariq yet.
I think I could see Tasha, but that's probably about it. I don't see Tariq. I don't see nobody else from book 2 and vice versa crossing over. I think the only person I could see, because she's like the only one that is in like the middle between like both, because in Ghost she could be there for Tariq, helping him,
Force, yeah.
etc. She could also be enforced because, as you can see, she's trying to repair relationship with Tommy. She also might be trying to get back in the game. She might be one of the only people like Tommy can trust, etc., or whatever. So I could see that, but like, yeah, I agree with you. The only person I could really see that it's going to be like a crossover is Law Enforcement, because as we saw, Blanca's now in Ghost. At the end, what was that? What was that? 2, when whatchamacallit was unalive, when Mecca was unalive, she popped up.
Yeah.
I can see her or Junior, I think his name, Junior, right?
Junior.
Him being in Force. It's gonna be somewhere, hell, maybe even Paz.
The only reason why I don't think that we're ready for Tasha yet in Force is because we have to get conclusion to this whole witness protection thing and Big Mama and Yaz. I can't see her leaving them in Witset and then her running out to Chicago, running behind Tommy. Until there is resolution with her and this whole Witset thing and she get out of witness protection. And plus, right now she's probably got to stick around in book 2 to kind of aid Tariq, because especially she botched the hit on Monet. She didn't hit her target. So now that's going to bring more heat to Tariq because of her mess up.
I mean, she hit the target.
She hit the target, but she didn't finish the job.
But I figured I'm gonna save that for the live too.
Save it for the live.
I'm gonna save it for the live. Why she did it, in a sense. I'm gonna see.
Sax is the gift that keeps giving, huh? What is on the flash drive?
We ain't gonna never find out till next season.
No.
I kind of gave up trying to rock my brain.
Guess there's our mystery. There's our plot point right there. Ooh, what's on the flash drive? One or two things. It's got to be some. I'll save it for Sunday. We'll save that for Sunday.
The crazy thing about it, though, it was so fast you didn't even pay attention that he even got a flash drive. A lot of people probably didn't even pay attention that it was from Sax in the first place. Sax sent everybody letters, and then he got this mysterious. And shoot, that. Well, I'll say it now because we'll still talk about it on the live. That could be a plot twist. It might not even be from Sax.
It is, because remember when Paz came in and gave him the envelope, she said it's from that lawyer Sax. And he looked at her like, Sax? Like, what would he be sending me? Or whatever the case may be. And the fact that it was just an envelope with a flash drive in it, wasn't even a letter. It wasn't even a letter like everyone else had received. And I wish that we would have gotten what was on 2-Bit's letter besides Tasha's address. Like, what else? I really wish they didn't bring that character back. I know everybody, 2-Bit's a fan favorite, but had they written his character a little bit differently, then I would have been more interested in him being in the story.
Might be one that goes over into Force.
I don't even want him there either, because they've kept him gone so long. And really, if all you're going to use him for is to come on and shake Tariq down for something, then I'm not interested in the character. Now, what I did think about, what I'm going to save this for Sunday too, I'll save it for Sunday, because I did think about something when he traded cars with Tariq. That might end up coming back to haunt 2-Bit. That might end up coming back to haunt 2-Bit riding around in that Porsche. So we'll see. Let me see what else.
I got some stuff for 2-Bit as well, but I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna definitely save that for the live.
What stood out the most for you for this season or this episode? What stood out the most for you?
I guess just, I think for one, oh man, to sit out the most, probably just like the episodes itself. Like it was just nonstop. Like I
Yeah,
don't want to say nonstop action, but it was just like it was like almost every episode. I think with the exception of maybe one. Yeah, except for one, it was like all of them kind of like had you on the edge of your seat, like every episode.
it was
I
time.
think that's what stood out. Like, did we normally get like those out of 10 episodes? We normally get like maybe that's like what
3 or 4 episodes
three? That's
kind of
three
like
or four.
drag
That's like a filler,
and drag.
like
Yeah,
filler episodes, and the rest of them are. But like this one just came back to back to back to back, and then of course we got that little one, but it was like all of them was just back to back to back. It was like none of them was one of those where like you was just like where you was mad at the episode. It was just like, man, this episode boring. Like all of them was just like they was just they
I'm
was
going.
on it.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. For me, it's the pacing. Like I really like the pacing of this season, and I think that's one of the things that stood out the most for me because they didn't drag out story arcs. They left some things. They left some things in limbo. They left
Yeah,
a few things in limbo, but for the most part, I think they did a very good job closing out a lot of their arcs and setting up new ones. So I think that they did a very good job with that. I think I can't say that there was one episode that I didn't watch twice. I can't say that there wasn't one episode that I didn't watch twice. And not because we're reviewing the show. Typically, we watch the episode more than once. Anyway, we get our notes and stuff ready for the review. We watch it once for enjoyment. Then, second, we're looking for the little Easter eggs so we can talk about them during our review. But for the most part, I think that I really enjoyed the pacing. I really enjoy how they introduced the new characters this season. Typically when we get new characters, they just kind of throw them, one here,
hmm
one there, one here. I think the way that they rolled out the new characters was perfect. They didn't give us too much of them, and they didn't give us too little of them. I know a lot of people complain about not seeing a lot of Noma, but actually, I was very glad that we didn't spend so much time with Noma because now it gives us the opportunity to wonder where else they're going to take her story. And
exactly.
the fact that she's a kingpin, a major kingpin, like she's not like the rest of them that
Because
we've been
remember,
introduced to.
we ain't see Mecca till like mid season.
Well, we didn't see Mecha till like the second season.
No, but
Second
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but even then, I don't even think did we see him at the beginning of the second season?
we
Because I
did.
thought,
He came in at the beginning of season one, but he was kind of like in the background for a little bit. He was kind of like in the background a little bit, and when we first got introduced to the character, we thought it was just going to be someone that was a plot device for Kane. Because at that time Kane was on the outs, he was looking for a new supplier, so we didn't see more beyond that until later on in the season when we started finding out there was a connection between Mecha and Ghost, when there was a connection between Mecha and the Fez, there was a connection between Mecha and Monet, and then the whole Zeke thing. So his character evolved over the season, and so.
damn, I swore it was season 2 where he started sending that little car around blasting that song, and Monet would hear it.
But remember what I just said. They kind of gave him several different story arcs. The first time we was introduced to the character was Kane's new supplier, and that's all we saw with that character was
Okay,
just his interaction with Kane. Then when they started to evolve his character, the Camaro was riding around Monet's house blasting the New Edition song or whatever the case may be, and we didn't figure that out until later on in the season when they met out in front of juniors that
gotcha.
they knew
Okay,
each other.
yeah,
So I like how they did that with him because we couldn't figure out who that person was. So there was a little mystery shrouded in that as to figuring out who is this dude. So they kind of doing the same thing with Noma. Actually, they're doing the same thing
yeah.
with Noma. As of right now, we just know her as the supplier. She's the big boss. But at the end of the day, can you really look at Noma as the villain, or is it Monet? Or at this point, because Monet somewhat kind of redeemed herself a little bit this episode, or is it Diana that's the villain?
Man, there's so many villains.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, that
you
part.
got it's
That
like
part.
what 4, 5 villains.
These
you
girls
got
ain't loyal. That's all I'm gonna say. These
yeah,
girls
you got
ain't
like
loyal. Breezy
you got
said it.
about
These girls
you
ain't
got
loyal.
about 4, 5 villains.
Tariq,
So
you got to get your women together, bro. Your women is just ain't none of them
I
loyal.
can't even tell you who like the main villain is because we could say Monet, but then we could say Diana because of the whole thing she pulled
With
against
Z,
Monet. Then we could
yeah,
say Drew as well because Drew has something to do with it, along with how he been acting. Then of course you could say Noma because of how she been having them go through hell and high water. Then you can also say Kane. Yeah, it's so many villains in this joint. So
yeah. But unlike some of the rest of the drug kingpins that we've met throughout the shows, Noma's body count is not as high as some of the rest of them. I mean, she dropped old girl at the beginning of the season about that ring. Now she was a little psycho about that ring. She got her ring back, but they're like, "You keep that shit. I don't want that shit." uh,
but I guess because she got her peoples around her that do that, so
yeah, yeah. She got to get her
get
hands dirty much. I
she
mean,
ain't
now
gotta
she
get
is
her
a
hands
little bit
dirty.
ruthless because she unalived her baby daddy. She unalived her baby daddy. I'm going to save it. I'm going to end on my first thoughts with this, and then we'll pick back up on it on Sunday for me. How does Effie? How did Effie find out about Noma's daughter? Like, when did she have the time? When did she have the time to figure that part out? I'll just leave that for y'all to ponder on because I can't figure out how she
Oh,
figured it out so fast.
well, I could tell you that, but I'll wait for the live to tell you that.
Answer me on Sunday then,
Yeah,
because
I'll tell
I got
y'all on
questions for you offline.
the live. I'll tell you the live about that. So
Overall, it was a good episode. Like I said, I don't know if our disappointment in the end of the episode comes from the fact that it is the last episode and we got to wait a whole year, or because of how I do agree with you. I mean, I ain't gonna even lie, I do agree with you. I think when we got towards the end of the episode, things just kind of sped up a little too fast. We started moving a little too fast. Like I feel like some of that could have rolled over into season 4, and they could have closed out the season a little bit differently. Overall, I was pleased. I was pleased with the episode.
yeah, like that's like I said at the beginning, it had me. It had me. Then when they got to the end, I was like, what the hell is this? Like I was like, that's when I started getting like I was like for a finale. But like I said, I'll say my thoughts on that for Sunday's live. So y'all make sure that y'all like, comment, let us know y'all thoughts on everything, and y'all make sure that y'all come back on Sunday for our live reviewing the entire episode, everything. So we will catch y'all later on. We going to y'all with this outro, and we out.
See y'all Sunday.